Hi, welcome to my channel Be Empowered with myself, Empress of Emotions. Over here, we are snatching our power back. We are learning how to master our emotions and get out of survival mode. This first video is going to be more like a very brief get to know me because I'll have plenty of story times coming. I wanted to go over the basics when it comes to emotions and why sometimes we might have the emotional reactions that we have despite not wanting to have that kind of emotional reaction. I think it's only fair as well that I make it pretty clear that I'm here for those that really want change, the people that have had enough, they're fed up with their own selves, their own voice, their lives, their circumstances, their environment, their surroundings, the people they're surrounded by, the jobs that they're doing, the people they're surrounded by at work on an everyday basis. You spend most of your time at work. So I'm here for the people that really want change. If you've ever been extremely emotional in certain circumstances, or impulsive at times, very sensitive, very empathetic to the point where you tend to put other people before you. So if you suffer from people pleasing, or if you're overcoming people pleasing syndrome, if you find people underestimate you a lot, if you're the underdog, if you're the first daughter, if you're the black sheep, if you feel like you're seen and not heard, if you feel like you're the one that is always listening to other people's issues and problems and advising them, but when it comes to you, you go through most of the things that you experience in life completely alone without having anyone to turn to or really take you seriously enough to give you that time to hear you out and really see you. If you've experienced trauma or any kind of abuse from romantic relationships, family, or otherwise, this channel is for you. If you're ever labeled sensitive, oh, you're so sensitive, oh, it was just a joke. If you experience that a lot, I've got you. So if you were to Google what does emotions mean, what is an emotion, you'll get quite a common answer of an emotion being a strong feeling that derives from circumstances, a mood, or something that you feel based on your relationship with others. You can also look at emotions as energy in motion. What happens when we have an emotion, it sets off a certain amount of energy within us. It can deplete a certain amount of energy in us. It can deplete us so much so that we don't have any. We can't do anything, we can't function, and we don't want to do anything. Those who are willing to walk through the fire, those who are willing to face fears, face their emotions, and do something about it and make those changes. Emotions are messengers. They are our friends. They are actually our guides. We should actually be very grateful for them because they come with a message, and they come with a message that is so strong and so clear that you feel it. I'm angry, I'm annoyed, I'm upset, I'm happy, I'm excited, all of that kind of thing. But when you get that emotion, sometimes it has often been misunderstood. Butterflies, for example. How many years were you sold that butterflies meant, oh, that is the one? Meanwhile, the butterflies were telling you, run, go the other direction, hurry up, come on. Butterflies, let's fly out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's leave now, please. Come on. And you were excited by that. And every time somebody gave you butterflies, it wasn't likely that those butterflies did you any good. Anyway, let's move on. Energy in motion is how I personally like to describe and think about and get comfortable with emotions. The motion part is up to you. You can continue to let that energy create more and more and more and more motion within you, or you can learn to face it and understand what it's trying to tell you. And once you've understood what it's trying to tell you, decide what you are going to do about it. And who am I to talk to you about these things? Well, I'm a student of life. I ask questions. I have never really followed what I have been expected to do or what I should do, what I should be and who I should become. I've always asked questions. I've always wanted to understand for myself and make sure that it made sense to me, not just because a load of people were doing it or not just because my family had always been doing it and so that's just the way it's been done. I've always asked questions. And if certain things never made sense to me and it just sounded stupid or it just sounded dumb, I wasn't going to pretend as if it made sense when every energy, emotion within me was like nudging me, like, are you really going for this? And there have been many times when I did. And because I didn't listen to myself and I didn't trust myself, oh, I ended up in some sticky situations. However, apart from being a student of life and having great experience personally when it comes to trauma, abuse, and quite challenging circumstances, that I am very aware that not everybody would have still made it to where I am if they had been faced with such challenges. I'm an NLP practitioner, nutritionist, and herbal medicine healer. So now we done got that out the way. We're going to go through 3 things that really hold you back that you may not be aware of. There's what you know, what you don't know, and what you don't know that you don't know. So 3 things that are possibly holding you back and 3 ways to eradicate that today. The first one is know thyself. Know who you are. Know what you're about. Know what you like. Do you know who you are? I'm sure everybody jumped and said yes this time. I'm just gonna take a sip and mind my business. Mm-hmm. Know thyself. You really have to be very clear about who you are, because when you know and you are clear about who you know and you are clear about who you are not. That means what you like, what you don't like. It means the type of people you allow to be in your presence. It's a privilege to be in your presence. Did you know that? Because if you don't know that, then you can't claim to know yourself. Are you able to make decisions and stick to them? I'm not necessarily even talking about discipline here. We haven't even gotten that far. Just the basics of making a decision. Let me give you an example that some of you may be able to relate to. And this isn't just, I'm going to give you 2 examples. So, one, you can make a decision, right? And you can stick to your decision because you know yourself and you know what's best for yourself. So, when you are being treated less than the standard that you deserve, and you say, I'm not going for that anymore, I'm not participating in it, it's not getting my energy, I'm just not going to be doing that anymore, I'm not accepting it, I won't allow it. And then a few of the right words are stringed into a sentence, and there you go. But you made the decision that you weren't going to allow it, right? Another one, this is one for the mothers. And I'm a mother, so don't even think about coming for me. But you have made the decision that your child is not going to get something. It could be something as silly as a cookie. Yeah, because it's dinner time hasn't even come. So you're not getting it. Or you just have something and they want it and it's not for them, or they're not, you said no. And they keep asking and they keep asking and they keep asking and they keep asking because that's what children do. And eventually you say, oh, all right then. Didn't you make a decision? So you don't know yourself. And those people know you don't know yourself. And that's why they can get around you. Once you know yourself, you know what's best for yourself. You also know what's very detrimental to yourself. You know what's going to have you dancing on the rooftops, and you know what's going to have you in bed feeling like utter crap. So know yourself and act accordingly. Second, understand Don't just know what things trigger you. Oh, I don't like that, it triggers me. Understand what triggers you. Understand why it triggers you. Where does it come from? What happened the very first time that that became anything to be able to trigger you? I'll give you another example of what I mean. Have you ever been in a situation where someone has said something or done something? It could be something that has been recurring, it's happened a few times. And oh boy, have you reacted. You've reacted real bad, but they deserved it. What did you think was going to happen? What did they expect I was going to do? You've reacted. You've given a good show. You've really put on a performance there. Um, but what you've done there is you've let people know exactly how to push your buttons. And not only have they learned how to push your buttons, you've now become the perfect puppet on a string. You've become the ideal instrument to play, and play with you they will. They have, and they will continue to do, because you will sing out the perfect tune every time they play you like an instrument. Understand what triggers you so you can understand when you are being triggered and respond to it in a mature manner. Are you an instrument to be played? Are you a puppet on the end of strings? You'll be quick to say no, but does your behavior reflect that? The last one is one of my favorites because I learned this the hard way. I learned this one the hard way. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm very proud of myself and I'm proud that I'm able to smile, wanting to laugh because, okay, so the last one is turn impulsiveness down and discernment all the way up. Listen, if there's anything you take away from if there's anything you take away from this, take away knowing how to move with strategy, understanding that your emotions and your impulsivity, that is the right word, right? Cool, let's go with it. Or your impulsiveness, your need to be impulsive, your habit of being impulsive is a big blockage. All your impulsiveness does is tell the world that you have no control. You have no control over yourself. You have no control over your thoughts. You have no control over what comes out of your mouth. You have no control of whatever you do with your limbs, because sometimes it can get physical. And you just have no self control. But when you use discernment and you take a minute and you really think, like, what is this doing for me? What is this situation, or me even being here, wherever it may be, what is it doing for me? How is this benefiting me? What am I getting from this? How is this improving my life? How, is this putting money in my account? Can we get rid of all of that impulsive behavior? When you just want to respond in a way that you think gives you the upper hand and makes you seem so intelligent, and it doesn't. It doesn't. The best thing for you to do is practice silence. There is a lot of power in silence. There is a lot of power in stillness. There is a lot of power in just observing. Observe. And when I say observe, understand what I mean is this. Observe the thoughts that you are having in that immediate moment, the feelings that you are having in that specific moment. Observe you. It's such an easy thing to observe everybody else and observe the situation itself. But once you start to observe you and understand and know that you only have control over you, you will learn how to respond differently, and therefore the circumstances and environment around you will be different. And what goes on in here, which is your most powerful tool, will be different too. I'm having such a good time here. I can really get used to this, but I look forward to talking with you guys more and coming on here more. So, know thyself, study yourself. Study yourself as if you were the love of your life and you wanted to know everything that made you feel amazing and magical and whole and wonderful and loved. And then you give that to yourself. Understand the things that trigger you so you can understand when you're being triggered, and you can also understand in turning down being impulsive and turning up discernment, how to be strategic in what you even give your energy to. Stop giving your power away on a platter. You're just giving it away with roses and fruits and all kinds of good stuff. However, before I go, all I want to say is health is wealth, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.